Hey folks, welcome. Marketing Masterclass. We're going to give the lines a few minutes to open up. Excited? JG Francoeur, you pumped, man?
I'm pumped. I mean, this is a whole. I mean, Patrick, this is like I feel like this was a bit like an old shoe, you know. Like I haven't done this kind of talk in a while, in a couple of years, because I've been doing so much real estate. But I gotta tell you, man, I put on that shoe and it feels good. It feels good.
Like an old pair of slippers, you know, just slip it on and go. Well, that's awesome. So we'll give it a few minutes. So let's right away, we're apt to do this, and I think it's great. So first off, this will be an engaging kind of presentation. Chats will be open, and thank you, Charlene. Hello from Hamilton. Where's everybody else? Let's get some activity going in the chat here. Make sure you all know. And so right away,
Laura.
What's that?
Laura's from my past life. So hello, Laura. Nice of you to join. That's awesome.
So everybody, if you want to, what you can do is open your chat box so that you're going to all panelists and attendees, so you can communicate that. You know, if you want to exchange private messages, you can do that, but open it up to all attendees so we know where we're at.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Hello. Fantastic. Awesome. That's great. Oh, we got some Windsor, Ontario.
Calgary, Ontario, 20 degrees in Calgary. Nice.
Sudbury, my people.
Your people.
Yeah,
so,
really.
Lines are loading up. So great turnout. So exciting. This is it. Hey, Sean. Good to see you. Martin. Awesome.
Hey, guys. Hello. Hey, Tony.
Eric and Karen. Good to have you join us. Lots and lots of familiar names, so nice to have everybody joining us. So JG, just because it's the Canadian thing to do, as I like to say, because it is, what's the weather like in Peterborough today?
You know what? It actually, we have this really amazing, oops, can you hear me, Patrick? Yeah.
Yep, you just blocked up there for a second. You froze up.
We had this amazing kind of warm front come in right after dinner, and the weather's kind of popped up. It's 14 degrees. That's huge, and just actually like a light little sprinkle. Nothing major.
So yeah, so I'm going to probably after this I'm going to go mow my lawn and get caught up a little bit.
My grass is just starting to turn green, which is great. So it's fantastic.
Oh man. It's crazy. This will be like the 5th time I've mowed mine. It's going crazy. Well, JG, we got a lot of ground to cover. Line is pretty full. We're loaded up. You know, Marketing Masterclass. Why don't we talk a little bit, you know, just about what you want to achieve tonight? Do you want to open up that way, or do you want to just get right to work?
Yeah. No, for sure. Let's definitely open it up that way, Patrick. I mean, folks, the idea of the Marketing Masterclass was obviously, you know, 50-60% of RAID members are business owners, and we're all business owners, as you're very well aware, given that you're a real estate owner, you're a business owner. But a lot of you, your job and your main source of income, your primary income is a business of some type. You might be a consultant, you might own a retail shop, you might be a chiropractor, you might be a massage therapist. You might own some type of business that generates revenue. Winston Wing owns a spa, owns a dental practice. I know there's some optometrists on the phone. So you guys are business owners. And the reason that Patrick, and Patrick, you know, kudos to you for bringing this up, was as soon as COVID-19 started hitting and we saw the impact this had on our business, Patrick, as business owners, we knew right away that we had to do something for the RAIN community in order, because there's going to be some restart initiatives here that are going to be necessary. There's going to be we're going to have to prime the pump. We're going to have to oil the machine. We're going to have to, you know, activate the choke. I'm going deep into my Timmins bank here.
Yeah. You know, I think this is so important. And, you know, for those of you, if you're listening closely, I want to make it perfectly clear. When JG and I talk about, we know what's going on in business, we know we're feeling the same pain. You know, 35 years later, I've been through 3 other huge economic downturns in Alberta. Certainly not like this, of course, nobody has. But having said that, we know in every regard that marketing is going to happen, number one, to revitalize, reinvent, kick your business back into gear, and or for some of you, it's going to be, this is what I need to do in order to generate revenue. I need to become a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, you know, whatever, a mass crusader that you're generating revenue, and because we're going to all have to do what we have to do. And so ultimately, marketing is the way we have to get the message out. For business owners, there's a fundamental lesson that I learned many, many years ago, and that is when times are good, you should be marketing. When times are crap, you must be marketing. And sadly, JG, when it comes to when times are bad and cash gets thin, we have to be counterintuitive. We want to go, I'm not spending another dollar on an ad. I can't afford it. Yeah, yes, I know it's so hard, but you have to. And I know those are some of the things that we're going to be talking a lot about in the coming weeks and months ahead. And certainly this is a wonderful kickoff to all of that in this masterclass.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Patrick. So folks, let's start. We'll kind of start by explaining the REMI 360 relationship with Rain. So as you guys know, I've been in the market, and some of you don't know me. Some of you have no idea. So I'm not going to talk too much about myself because 95% of people here have seen me speak many times. So, but after having built and sold many companies over the year, the one skill I got really, really good at, and I've always been in the marketing business. I've owned marketing businesses since 2006, and REMI 360 is a marketing business. And when I joined Rain, I used to have a big business in marketing. We were in 14 countries, we had 170 employees. And when I joined Rain after being a Rain member for that many years, and my point of joining Rain, as I've said before, was to really diversify some of my assets out of other businesses and into real estate, which I did successfully. But REMI 360, Patrick, is a marketing agency. We're a marketing service company. We help businesses build marketing plans. And this presentation is brought to you by REMI 360. And for the first couple of years, Patrick, we didn't really talk about the marketing relationship between REMI and Rain. But as we get deeper and deeper into COVID, we're just seeing the importance of helping Rain members. And that's why REMI 360 is really coming to the forefront, folks. So you're noticing that, obviously, and I just wanted to sort of explain that. Anything to add to that, Patrick?
Not really. I think it's one of those things that it's just good luck. We kind of had a vision for certain things, and we really saw that this was really necessary because of our backgrounds. But ultimately, what this has done is really brought it to the surface, to really shine a light on what we all have to do. I can't stress enough how much we believe this, we know this, and we've had lots of years in business to say this is what you need. So if you're questioning whether marketing is a thing for you, there's a place where you're just going to have to let go. Trust us, it is a thing for you. I don't care who you are or what you're doing. So let's just own it, JG, and let's roll this baby out, and you can start having some conversation, do what you do, put on these old slippers and get to work.
Awesome. Thanks, Patrick. So folks, this is going to be like all the master classes, especially the ones I'm heading up, is going to be very in the trenches. I got my pencil, I got my iPad here, and I'm going to be actually putting notes right on the screen. So you are going to be seeing this live tonight. I'm going to be doing lots of notes. You're going to have to be very, very engaged. This is not a sit there passively kind of event. So make sure you ask your questions, put your questions in the chat if you have some. I'm going to do my very best to answer them as I go. And then if I don't get to it as I go, I will try to get to it at the end. So I promise to try to answer as many of your questions as possible. Okay. First and foremost, REMI 360, we are on a mission to stop business owners from wasting their valuable time and money so they don't become a statistic of business failure. To do that, folks, I got to admit, it's all about systems. You're going to be hearing about systems tonight. And here's a little system. This was sent to me this morning, in fact. Thanks, Mike. But check this out. Here's a little system, I thought. Look at that. Cup of coffee, cut the string, tape the string to the inside, and it then appears like you're drinking tea on the Zoom. So it's all about systems. Shelly, that one's for you, girl. I knew you'd appreciate that. Jennifer.
I just had to jump in here. Where's the teacup? You've just messed up my whole system.
Jennifer and Shelly they don't even care to hide it. They just like, straight up, let's do it. We're talking.
Thanks for the pro tip, JD.
Yeah, pro tip right there, folks, pro tip. So it's all about systems. Here's what we're going to do tonight. We are going to show you how to predictably grow your business without growing your payroll. That is my goal. Now, I know many of you business owners, by the way, if you're a business owner, put it in the chat. I want to hear from you. Let me know. Just say you're a business owner. If you're not, that's okay, by the way. This is going to be you're going to love this, whether you're a business owner or not. If you're a business owner, you're really going to love this. So put it in there. Now, as a business owner, that's great. As a business owner, you have all said to yourself at some time, I wish I could just duplicate myself. Like if I could just bottle myself up, oh my gosh, life would be so much better. Well, guess what, folks? I just got this. I'm not kidding. About 15 minutes before we started. And check this out. There is now a little bit of Jean-Guy in a bottle. And this was just sent to me. Patrick, you wouldn't believe it. This is THC oil, CBD oil with THC. And yeah, I guess I got a little bit. This is for sale. This is the government of Ontario selling this stuff now.
Wow, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So we need some. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was interesting. My goal for tonight is for you to stop the grind and regain more time. Now, folks, I have invested well over $5 million into building these kinds of systems. They have generated well over $75 million of revenue for my companies, which is fantastic. But I got to tell you, I've done a lot of things wrong, a ton of things wrong. I've made so many mistakes, and I discovered several things the hard way, several things. And the good news is you're going to get a shortcut tonight. So tonight I'm going to be presenting you the shortcuts. I'm going to be presenting you the lessons I've learned. I'm going to be presenting you a system for you to implement in your business to be able to predictably grow your revenue without growing your payroll, okay? Here are the 3 things I've learned. Number 1, most business owners do not know where to start. Where do you start? It is so difficult. It's so confusing. It's so overwhelming that this leads us to number 2, which is there's an overwhelming sense, and that is caused by what I call multiple systems chaos. By the time you learn how to use Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and then you got to learn the Facebook Business Ads Manager, and then JG said something about a website. Well, what system do I use for that? Oh, yeah, I got to use WordPress. But then he mentioned something about a plugin. Okay, I got to get a plugin. And then there's all these things. It gets very, very overwhelming. And this is caused by these systems. All these systems really stack up. All these systems really become a challenge over time. And that causes number 2. And then number 3 is often business owners don't have any reporting. They don't have any insight. They don't have any insight to make data-driven decisions. And if you're taking notes, please jot that down, because at Rain, you're very familiar at Rain to make data-driven decisions. We teach you to invest based on fundamentals. We teach you to run the numbers, okay? And in real estate, that makes a lot of sense. It's kind of easy to understand. But in business, especially when it comes to marketing, it's not nearly as easy to understand. It's like, where do you get this data? What friggin' data are you talking about, Frenchie? So I'm going to show you tonight what data I'm talking about. I'm going to show you how to calculate stuff. I'm going to show you how to make these decisions, okay? This will be we're going to get down and dirty tonight. You're going to definitely need a pen. You're going to need a paper. You're going to be taking notes. You're going to be doing some work, okay? So first and foremost, we all need to stop searching for a silver bullet in marketing. They don't exist. And I think you'll relate to me. And by the way, folks, just in case you're planning your time, I don't know if this is going to go for 45, 60 minutes or if this is going to go for 2 hours. It all depends on how many questions you have. But I do know this, you can't be searching for a silver bullet. They just don't exist. Yep, no silver bullet, Christian. I know what you mean. So I want to brainstorm real quick with you. What kind of silver bullets have you thought of in the past? Like, oh, maybe that'll work. What? Maybe if I could figure that out, like everyone is often searching for the silver bullet in marketing. So what's the silver bullet that you're looking for, that you've looked for in the past and unfortunately been let down? What's one of the silver bullets? Ah, perfect. I'm going to write them down. Radio, right? Radio was supposed to be the silver bullet. What else? Alcohol. Okay. Oh, that's great. Yeah. So an MLM. Yeah. That's often. Yeah. Very good. Google. Okay. Google. I see Facebook. Okay. I see Facebook ads. Right. Okay. Very good. SEO. Yes. Very good. SEO. What else we got? Social media. Yes. Those so-called experts. Right. So-called experts. Okay, that's great. Print, yes. Direct mail. Direct mail, yes. Print, yes. Yes. Reusable bags, that's very interesting. Reusable bags. Door knockers, oh my gosh, I haven't heard of those in a while. That's good. Yes, unaddressed ad mail, very good. Bandit signs, oh yeah, I know about those. Bandit signs. Right? Unaddressed ad mail. What else? Email marketing. Yeah. That was supposed to be the silver bullet. Oh, bathroom stall. Look at it, man. You guys have notepads, pens. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Referral marketing. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so we got all these. That's good. Text messaging. Okay, interesting. Now, yeah, very interesting. So thank you, everyone. That's fantastic. So you've given more than I was able to write down there. Okay, so fantastic. Those are all fantastic examples of silver bullets. Now, the question is, and I'm going to explain next why these didn't work. By the way, every one of these works, just so you know. Every single one of these is a good idea. Okay, and I'll show you in a second why it perhaps didn't work for you, but every one of these is a good idea. Let me give you an example. Okay, like radio, right? So radio, I mean, how many millions of businesses have built their business on the back of radio? Tons. Google, Facebook, SEO, they're all the same. All of these have had incredible success for the right people at the right time if they use the right system, right? So the silver bullets, and the challenge with the silver bullets is not necessarily the medium itself, it's the plan. So step one is you got to plan for a business traffic system, not a single road. Yeah, that's right. TV ads is another silver bullet for sure. Okay. So plan for a business traffic system, not a single road. So your marketing system needs to look something like this. It needs to have many lanes. It needs to have many roads. It needs to have on-ramps. It needs to have off-ramps. It needs to have leads traveling those roads. I'll show you how to do that today. But any one of those silver bullets, what they were is they were this. They were a single road. They were one thing you tried in a silo, and that made it very, very difficult. That made it so it didn't work. But it's not the road that didn't work. You can't blame the road, right? It's the system that didn't work. So you got to go up a level. So when it comes to marketing, we're always, and folks, the reason I bring this up and I start with this is because I got to admit that after COVID-19, people are going to be starving. They're going to be starving for the answer. They're going to be starving for, what do I do next? What's that one thing I need to do? And there is no one thing. So don't look for one thing. build a system. And it's time now, folks, for you to start building this system. Because even though that you see in Ontario, they're announcing they're going to be reopening in the course of the coming weeks. Saskatchewan's already started reopening. Various provinces are opening at the various speeds. This is going to drag out. It's going to take time. You have time to build this system, okay? But you've got to start now. So let's dig into what I call the readiness funnel. Now, the readiness funnel is an explanation of how to drive leads in such a way that it really expands your business. So a funnel, you guys all know what a funnel is, right? So a funnel looks like this, okay? You've all had a funnel before, okay? It looks like this. Now a readiness funnel, flip it backwards. Here's how most business owners do it. I'm just gonna flip this, and my drawing's terrible. My handwriting is really terrible. We're gonna pretend that's a funnel, a backwards funnel. I flipped it upside down. What most business owners do is they build their marketing system, and they build their marketing infrastructure, and they build their marketing concepts to only go after the top 2% of the market. So what they do is they have this thing, they try to attract. So I'll give you a perfect example. Radio is a good example of this. If you do a campaign on radio, and it's like, hey, look at me, I got this special, and I got that special, and I got this going on, and come into our store and come buy something. Well, the only people you're attracting are the people that are, and please jot this down, people that are ready, willing, and able to purchase. That's the only people you're attracting, which is only the top, say, 2% of the funnel. Now, those people, this is the most competitive market by far, because they're ready, willing, and able to purchase right then and there. They're going to be looking for alternatives. They're going to be looking. So this is the most expensive, okay? That's the most expensive marketing you can have. That's why radio charges what they charge. That's why, certain, if you're familiar with Google PPC, pay-per-click, certain keywords, do you know, for example, like, real estate's a good example, like realtors, mortgage brokers, like it could cost $5, $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 per click for the people that have typed in, want to sell my house, Calgary, Alberta. It's a very, very expensive keyword. And the reason is because those people that are typing that are most likely ready, willing, and able to buy. So it's very expensive. Now, what happens is we all search for the silver bullets to go get those people, but that's not the trick. That's not where the success lies. By constantly going after that top of the market, you spend way more money than you should. These leads are extremely expensive. Because they're ready to buy, they're open to opportunities. So there's a lot of brand switching that's taking place with those people because they're ready right then and there. They're just like, they're searching around for something to purchase. Okay. So I want you to go deeper. Okay. I want you to go down to the next layer. Now the next layer at 10%, let's call it 10% down. These people are not ready. They're not necessarily willing, and they may not be able to buy right now, but they're coming. By the way, this pyramid works like this, right? They're working their way up to the funnel, and you know what I'm talking about, folks. Think of it like this. Think of it as let me think of something. Let's just say you need a printer. I'm just going to use a printer as an example. Okay, so you have a printer. I have a printer back there. You need a printer. And right now, you're here. Let's just say you're at the 50% mark, okay? And you know that soon you're gonna need a printer. You don't need one right now, but soon you're gonna need a printer. And it's coming. You're starting to think about it. Should I get an HP? Should I get a Brother? Should I get a LaserJet? Should I get an inkjet? What kind of printer should I get? And you're thinking about it. And you're slowly working your way up from 50%, the middle of the pyramid, all the way up to the top. And then you get to a place where, say, in 3-4 months from now, Now you need a printer. You have a big print job you got to do. You got to print some flyers. You got to print something for a conference. And you think, you know what? Now's the time. I'm going to buy this damn printer. So you moved up. See what HP, Brother, Lexmark, whatever other printing companies are out there, what they should be doing and what you should be doing is targeting the people when they're down here, and you should move them up yourself. Okay. So that, and I know I'm in the weeds here tonight, folks, with this masterclass. So you got to let me know if I'm going too deep. You got to let me know if I'm on the mark. You got to let me know if you're getting value out of this, because I like Patrick said, I put on an old pair of slippers here, and I'm giving you the deets, I'm giving you the goods. So this is called content consumption. Okay. Now I am going to explain it as if you were, I'm going to explain it like for Rain, because you all know Rain. You're all clients of Rain. As a result, you'll understand what's happening in real time. So I'll give you an example. So Rain, right? We essentially, we're a membership community. We have education on real estate investing. Okay. Now, if we wait until you're right here, right at the top, and you're like Googling, real estate investing in Canada, and you're interested, this is the top of the pyramid. At that point, you're considering Keyspire, you're considering Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you're considering Rain, you're considering the alternatives, and you're at the top of the pyramid. It's very expensive for us to get you there. What we want to do at Rain is we want to get you down here. And that's why we do events like Winning in Real Estate, for example. We want to open up your mind to the possibility of real estate, and this part's critical, guys. We want to take you from 50 to 2%, because in that process is magic. Okay, that's where the brand loyalty lives. So if you've ever been in business and you've ever had a client and then they switch, they leave you, they go somewhere else, and then they switch, they leave you. Your clients are always switching, and a lot of people experience this, brand switching. That's because you're only hitting the people at the top of the market. If you went lower down the pyramid and you brought them up through content consumption, you educated them, you delivered them value along the way, and you formed their ideas about your business, well, the brand loyalty from someone you bring up from 50 to 2% is completely different than someone you get at 2%. So let me give you, that's very funny, Tammy. Thank you for that. Let me give you an example. So let's say you're an optometrist, okay? So if you're an optometrist and you just are trying to get people who need glasses today, right now, like they need glasses right now, there's an issue, their glasses don't work anymore. Well, this is that's top. So this is someone who needs glasses right now, okay? Now, let me give you another, let's go down the pyramid. So now, Tammy said, I love she said, yeah, you got to put, folks, when you're typing, put to panelists and attendees so everybody can see what you're typing. Tammy said, love the visuals. However, you will never be my Pictionary partner. So no offense taken, Tammy. I love you anyways. Okay, back to my optometrist example. Optometrist, the client needs glasses right now. They're at the top of the pyramid. Let's go down a layer. Now the next layer is how glasses, okay, if you start to educate and you start to attract people and show them how glasses can be stylish, right? Let's just say. So that's opening someone's mind to something they hadn't considered before. Oh, wait a second. I think I might need glasses soon. I never thought they could be stylish. Wait a second. You mean that this could actually complement my outfit? Like you open up their mind to something different. All of a sudden, now you're moving someone up the pyramid and you're going to create this brand loyalty. So this is very important, okay, folks, because these people are way more cost effective to attract these people here, okay? they're way cheaper from a cost per lead perspective. And I'll show you that when I get to the reporting a little later. Okay, folks? So very interesting. Now, Patrick Francie, if you're like Patrick, you know, he's a bit of a diva and he's got all kinds of glasses. Anyways, he got suckered. They got, you know where Patrick Francie, I mean, they got Patrick Francie down here at like 10%, at like, I should say at like 90%. And they moved him all the way up. Okay, so this, folks, to get these people into your readiness funnel, okay, you need to have indirect call to action. Now, what's an indirect call? Oops, let me clear my notes. What's an indirect call to action? An indirect call to action, it is part of your brand narrative. For those who are at the real experience, I taught you about brand narrative. And if you're not familiar, you really ought to go search that video about brand narrative, because that's where I talk about indirect call to action. In business, there are two types of call to actions. One is called a direct call to action, which is you want them to buy now. An indirect call to action is where you don't ask for the sale, but you offer something of value. And here's the magic formula to an indirect call to action, which is this. An indirect call to action has a high perceived value, a low cost to you, so a high perceived value to them, and a low cost to you. And you typically want to give it for free. Okay? So that is what an indirect call to action is. High perceived value to them, low cost to you, give it for free. Okay? So as you create these indirect call to actions, what happens is you end up with lots of people in your funnel, which I'll show you in a second, but they're not ready to buy right now. Okay, that's the critical part. You're going to have way more people in your database, way more people in your funnel. You're going to have way more people circulating your business, but they're not all ready to buy. Now, this creates chaos for people that are not ready. For business owners, this creates chaos for business owners that do not have the following in place, which is this. Please jot this down. You must let systems deal with suspects and people deal with prospects. Now, the question is, how do you know the difference between a suspect and a prospect? Well, the answer is behavior. You let the prospect demonstrate with their behavior that they're ready for a human interaction. Okay? As we go forward, this is all going to make sense, folks. This is all going to tie together, okay? So this is called behavior-based actions. You'll see this in the next coming up. So now we've understand readiness. We're going to go deeper in the funnel and we're going to attract people with indirect call to actions. I'll show you that I'll continue that. Now let me show you what a marketing funnel is. Now a marketing funnel, okay? So you have up here, you have lead generation. Now these are all these silver bullets you all talked about. Those were all lead generating activities. I don't know if you noticed, all of them. Social media, Facebook ads, Twitter ads, advertising, radio ads, print ads, unaddressed ad mail, direct mail. These are all lead generation strategies, okay? And in business, we are constantly looking for these silver bullets called lead generation strategies. But it's not about that. You have to, you're still going to do a lead generation, but I want you to go deeper into so I'm going to go like this. Okay, so now I'm continuing the concept. Here's your top 2%. We're gonna go beyond them. We're gonna go to 10%. We're gonna go beyond them. We're gonna go to 50%. Let's say, okay. We want to attract. Let me take out my fancy highlighter. Pick a new color. This one's for you, Tammy. Pictionary Tammy. Okay. So this zone right here, 10% to 50%. This is what we want to attract and put them into our funnel. Now, when they are here, okay, when they're here, they're suspects. Because we don't know who they are. We don't know who they are yet. But by attracting them and by them submitting, and I'm going to show you next what's called off-ramps, the way you get them into your funnel is called off-ramps. And as you get them into your funnel, now what you want to do is move them down your funnel. So you want to offer them your first layer of service 1. And service 1 costs this much money. And then you're going to have product and service 2, and that costs this much money. And then you're going to have, something else, and that costs that much money, okay? And you're going to keep moving them down your funnel, okay? Now, this has to happen. This is systemized, folks. The reason that this is so challenging for business owners is, imagine, and I know most business owners, you try to do this, you do your damn best, but you got to do all of this, plus you have to run the business, plus you often, because you guys are solopreneurs or small business owners, you have to like service the client, you have to do all that stuff. You have to do everything. You're the cook, you're the chief, you're the bottle washer, you're the dishwasher, you're the cleaner, you're everything. So that's where it goes off the rails, okay? So in order for a funnel to work, it has to be automated and it has to be system driven. And I'll show you that in the middle part of this presentation. So you need automated funnels. Absolutely critical as a business owner to create automated funnels that are system driven, okay? And this right here is where this is where the magic meets the road. So now that you understand these two concepts, you understand the readiness funnel, okay? We're gonna go deeper into the funnel to get people who are not necessarily ready, willing, and able to buy. We're gonna get more of them, and we're gonna put them into our funnel, and then we're gonna let our system do the work, because we let system deal with suspects and people deal with prospects, okay? So this is now this is where we come together. Does this make sense so far, folks? Put it in the chat. Let me know if this makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, tell me I'm nuts. Okay. Now and I'm going to give you one final example. You guys all seem to make sense, which is great, but I'm going to give you one final example to really bring it home for you. Let's look at, I'm going to clear this, okay? Am I going to clear this? Yeah, I'm going to clear it, okay? So you got your readiness here. You got your 2%. You got your 50%, let's say, okay? Then you got your funnel. So I just saw Randy Dick, who I was in a meeting with earlier today. So Randy, I'm going to use you as an example real quick. So the top 2% for a realtor would be the people that are ready to list right now. Like they are listing in the next, 5 days. They're listing the next 2 weeks. They're listing in the next 30 days. I mean, they're there. They've decided it's done. They're listing. That's the top 2%. See, the thing is every freaking realtor in the world is going after that 2%. So it's expensive, very expensive. What I would do if I owned a business like Randy's, and I know Randy does this, is I would go down the funnel and I would get these people. And those people are, right, people that are not ready to list right now, but maybe they are outgrowing their home. Maybe Randy does a report or a book or a video series or some type of content. And by the way, that's how you attract them, folks, is with content. Is he does some content on how families are outgrowing their homes, how families can really layer up or grow from a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom into a 4 or 5-bedroom, and how that's actually a good move from a wealth perspective. How this actually doesn't cost them money. This actually helps them in the long run. It's kind of like, you think it's going to cost you more money, but it doesn't. Here's why. And Randy explains why that is. Okay. So he's not going after people that are ready right now. He's saying, listen, I know you're not ready, and that's okay. But one day you'll be ready. And I want to make sure that you talk to me. A white paper is a good example for sure. And he puts those into the funnel, and then he works with them. He lets the system work with them for a month, 6 months, a year. Some of them, it's going to take years for them to make a purchasing decision because they weren't ready. If they were here and they had to go all the way to the top, well, it may take them years to get there. I don't know. But others are going to be right here, and they'll, oops. Sorry, guys. Let me just go back. I touched my thing. Some of them are going to be right here, and they're going to get to the top much faster. So you let the system do the work. So I'm glad this makes sense now, okay? And this is all good. Now, let's continue. So here's the real world application of these concepts. So this is called creating off-ramps on your website. So I'm going to give you some real examples of off-ramps. I'm going to show you how they work. So here's the Urban Spa, which you guys know is a business that I own. So here's 2 off-ramps in this business. We give away free eyebrow waxing, okay? And we also give away a free book. My wife wrote a great book called The Urban Woman, and it's an awesome book. And we give that copy away for free as well. So we have given away thousands. I think we've given away, I know we've given away over 2,000 free books of Urban Woman, and I know that we've given away probably north of 5,000 eyebrow waxes in the last 7 years, okay? That is the way that we let people get to know us, okay? Now, some of them, now what's interesting is this. I want you to just pay close attention to this. Remember my readiness funnel here? Okay, my readiness pyramid? So the eyebrow waxing people, they're quite close. If you're gonna take us up on a free eyebrow wax, you're pretty close to the top of being ready to visit a spa. I mean, that's why you're taking this up on us. So this is quite high on the scale. Urban Woman, on the other hand, I don't know where these people are. They could be, they're deaf. Some of them are right at the top. Some of them are anywhere within this sphere. And that's what I want. That's what I want to build my database. That's what I want. I don't only want the people at the top. I want to take everyone throughout and I want to move them up. Okay. So that's why I did it like that. Now let's keep going. Let's look at Rain. Okay. So at Rain, if you go to Rain's website, and these are I call them off ramps because you're on the highway of lead generation, and the off ramp, how much does a second eyebrow cost? That's funny, Martin. They're off ramps because they give people an exit into your database. Okay, that's why I call them off ramps. So for example, you guys know, like at Rain, for example, we have, let me take out my fancy little arrow pointer. So right here, so many of our events at Rain, a lot of them target people that are not necessarily ready to invest in real estate right now. We have to educate them why it's a good idea. They're somewhere else on the readiness funnel. So we do lots of events. That's an off-ramp for Rain. We have tons of free resources. If you open that tab up, you would see a ton of free resources. You'll see research, you'll see reports, you'll see white papers, you'll see all kinds of stuff. Those are all off-ramps. Now at Rain, we have over 30 off-ramps, okay, folks? So are you gonna build 30 off-ramps overnight? No, you're not, okay? You're gonna build 1, then you're gonna build 2, then you're gonna build 3. The other thing too is you don't need 30. Rain is a big company, national company. It's got a certain mandate of education, which as a result requires a lot of off-ramps. So for you don't need 30, so don't get scared by that, okay? You only need 1 to start, and then eventually you'll need more than 1, but you definitely need 1 to start. Here's the one we offer at Remy. So there's the first one right here. Get your free social media posting calendar. Here's the second one. Download 33 headline tips. There's the third one, a 27-minute discovery call. We have 3 at Remy, 3 off-ramps for you to get into our database. Now, here's what's interesting. Let's look at the trend. Okay, top 5%. Okay, the people that are in the top 5% is this one. If you're going to get a 27-minute discovery call, you're really high up on ready to work with Remy. You're really high up on hiring an agency. You're really high up on working with a marketing company. If you're going to get a download 33 headline tips, you're probably closer on, you're not at 5%, you're lower than that. You're at 10%, maybe 15, 20%. If you're getting a social media posting calendar, you're probably down here. So notice that the off-ramps that we create, the indirect call to actions, we have layers of them. Some of them are ready, willing, and able to buy right now. Some of them are not, okay? You have to have, that's why you need 1, 2, or 3 of them. You definitely need more than one. You got to start with one, but you need more than one. And you're going to notice that over time, like if I ran a report on this, folks, and if I ran a report on how many leads this has generated, you're going to notice that, say this generates 10 leads, this probably, I'm giving you sort of, you know, averages right now. Out of these 10 leads, this will generate 50 leads and this will generate 100 leads. And the reason for that is because they're on the different spots on the thing. This is at the top, so it generates less leads, but they're hotter. They're more ready, willing, and able to buy. This one generates more leads, but they're not as hot. And this generates more leads and they're even less hot. Now, what happens is, and I'm going to show you this next in about 20 minutes, you're going to notice that this is called a client journey, okay? And a client journey, and you'll see this, if you're in our marketing, you're going to see this because I'm actively doing this to you right now. If you didn't notice, this event is part of that. You seeing that? Okay? Watch what's happening. So I'm going to move you from this to a masterclass, to a discovery, and then I'm going to move you to a sale. Okay? So that's how you do it. That's the funnel part. Does everybody, tell me if you see that, folks. I'm showing you Remy's example in our case. I could show you Rain, but if I drew a funnel for you right now, you started out by getting one of these perhaps. Then you got, so that was at the top. That's the information. We'll call these reports. Okay. Then you went from there, you went to the next layer, which was a masterclass, which you're in today. Then you might do a 27-minute discovery call, and you might go to the next layer of what we have to offer. That's how it works. Okay. So you're working people down the funnel. This is very important, folks. The reason this is so critical is that a lot of business owners, they don't have a funnel. So it looks like this. Hi, my name is JG. I'm the co-founder of Remy. Are you ready to buy my stuff right now? No? Okay, see you later. Let's never talk again. That's what you're saying to your customers if you don't have a good funnel in place. If you don't have a good off-ramp, if you don't introduce them, this is supposed to be, this is an experience, folks. This is a marketing experience. And when you do that, what happens is along the way, you create so much brand loyalty with them that they fall in love with you. And then they're willing to buy everything that you sell, okay? That's how this works. Now, an off-ramp, okay, and I'm trying to keep up with all the chats. I see some laughing going on, so we'll see if I might be missing pieces of it. Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
Sorry, JG. I think there's a couple things that we don't want to step over in this conversation, which is part of the funnel is you're creating relationship. You know, we know that in our database, for example, we sometimes have people in our database 2, 3, 4 years before they finally say, I'm ready to invest in real estate. I feel like I know you guys, and you know, I want to get the education you need. So it's that relationship that we're building. So there's 2 common mistakes we see with business owners or with sales in that marketing is a way to create the relationship to get them to where you got to go. Then the mistake there's 2 mistakes that are often made. First off, lots of guys ask for the sale. They say, you know, they ask for the sale too early. So in other words, they ask the girl to marry them before they've even been on a couple of dates, right? Like, let's get it done. Or they do a great job of getting them down the funnel and in the relationship, and then they don't ask for the sale. You know, they actually don't ask for the sale, and they get really angry because, damn it, I did all this and I spent all this money and they didn't, I got them in my funnel and they didn't take action. So I just want to kind of within that whole, and if I don't want to take it offline or off context, JG, but those are a couple of things in what you're doing here in this relationship that you're building in the funnel. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, it's perfect, Patrick. Thank you. That's fantastic. So So the off-ramps are created through pages called landing pages. Now I'm going to go into more details on this, but let me show you what a landing page looks like. This is a basic landing page design. And I know you guys love the nuts and bolts of this stuff. So let me draw one for you. Here's my Pictionary skills, Tammy. Okay, so let's just say you have a page. Okay, I'm going to show you some examples, but I'll just draw one out for you. This is the best I've seen. It works the best every time, just about. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. Put your logo up here in the top left corner. Okay, so put your logo in the top left corner. You put your headline right here in the middle. Headline. Okay, you put your video here. Okay, put your video on that side and put your web form on this side. Web form. Now, what's a web form? The web form is where you ask for their first name, their last name, their phone number, and their email. Okay, that's the web form. Now, people ask me all the time, they say, JG, should I ask for all that information, or should I just ask for just their email, or should I ask for, what should I ask for? The more information you ask for, the lower your conversion rate's going to be. Okay. Now, if we were in 2005 right now, I'd have different advice for you. I would say back in 2005, all you needed was an email. Then we started saying, well, you need an email and you need a name. Okay, you need first name and last. At first it was email. Then it was email and first name only. Then it was email, first name, and last name. And now, in my world, folks, when you're clients of Remy, when you work with Remy, if we work together, I would say I need email, name, and phone number, mobile phone number specifically. Okay. If somebody doesn't want to part with that information, then I don't want them in my funnel right now. I want them to keep consuming my stuff on social and elsewhere until they get ready enough, until they move up. Because what happens, folks, is there's your readiness pyramid again. Okay. If they're not prepared to give me their email, name, and phone number, then they're not high enough on the readiness. And then I'm just wasting my time. So I want them to be at a certain level in the readiness for them to go to the next level. And how I determine that behavior-based action is by asking for their first name, their last name, their email, and their phone number. When I do that, if they're willing to part with it, then I know that I've created good value for them. And I know that we're on our way to creating a bond, on our way to creating a relationship. So when you put your, so then I want you to put your text copy here, text copy. When you do your text copy, okay, absolutely critical, you must use bullets or numbers. Okay. When you write paragraphs, now I'm really into the weeds here, no more than 4 lines. A paragraph in marketing should never have more than 4 lines. If it has more than 4 lines, people will tune out. Okay. And on here, and I'll show you some examples, you're going to have your button here. Okay. That's your button, your submit button, which I'll talk about in a second. And then below your text copy, I need you to include some type of social proof. Now, social proof, what is social proof? Social proof is proof that you know what you're doing. Proof that someone else said you know what you're doing. Could be a testimonial, could be a media logo. So here's some examples. Testimonials. It could be media logos is another good one. Often you'll see, by the way, that's why often we put media logos on everything we do, because Rain is always featured in media. If you're an author, you want to put your book cover there for sure. That's why you see my book cover on everything I do, because it gives me authority. It's social proof. You want to do testimonials. I'll show you an example of testimonials in a second. Testimonies. Okay. So that's an example of social proof. Okay. So that, now someone asked about the video. I saw it come up there. So the video. So the video should be 2 to 3 minutes long. Okay. 2 to 3 minutes long. And what does it do? It sells whatever it is you're offering. Remember, the formula to this landing page, the off-ramp, the formula is a high perceived value to them and low cost to you. So let's just say you're offering a free copy of your, see, in this case, we have a page at Urban Spa on getting a free eyebrow wax. And if I showed you that video, it says this. It says, folks, you might think that there's a catch to this. There's no catch. You can get a free eyebrow wax at Urban Spa. Worth $15. Feel free. Fill out the information. You'll get an email with a coupon. Bring that in. Your eyebrow wax is on us. We look forward to seeing you at the Urban Spa. Sign up now. That's it. That's what it says. It's short, it's sweet, it's effective, it's to the point. That's what you want, okay? Affiliations definitely work for social proof as long as those affiliations have a good brand. For sure, brand rubbing, right, folks? Those of you who heard me talk about brand rubbing, that could be an example of where you would use brand rubbing. So that is a landing page template. Take a picture of this screen if you want. It's super simple, okay? Super simple. Robert Cialdini, that book there, Kevin P. is my Bible. Robert Cialdini's Principles of Persuasion, incredible book. I recommend you all buy it, read it 6 times, and get real good at it. I love it. You're 100% right, Kevin. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, so how many off ramps? Ideally, usually you need 3. You need 3, at least 3. The bigger your business gets and the more starved for leads you become, the more off ramps you're going to create. That's how it works. Okay. So at first you're going to start with 1, then you're going to go to 2, then you're going to go to 3, because you want to cover the full spectrum of the readiness. Okay. The readiness pyramid. But then as it goes, you end up creating 5 for this one and 5 for that one and 5 for that one. And then you end up 10 and 10 and 10. In my former marketing business, we had 49 off-ramps. 49 off-ramps, okay? Okay, the book is called Robert Cialdini. Okay, David, maybe you'll copy and paste it. Principles of Persuasion, amazing book. Okay, let's continue. Naturally, Patrick, this is taking way longer than I anticipated. I thought I'd be done by now.
Can I just take a quick minute to point out that I had nothing to do with how long this is taking?
Yes, 100%. Yes,
and
it's all.
Jennifer, that I know you're listening, so pay attention.
Jennifer's got her spreadsheet out and she's tracking my wine find right now. I know she is. Okay, so the thing that powers everything I just talked about, folks, there's a system. It's called a marketing automation system, which I'm going to talk about next. Okay, but the right system is what's required. If you don't have the right system, this is what your funnel will look like. It'll be a leaky funnel, a leaky bucket. And every time you put leads into the top, they'll just piss out the sides. This is why you absolutely must. And this is why business owners waste so much time and money on marketing, because they have a leaky bucket. So I want you to, first thing we got to do, the very first thing is we got to plug all these holes before, and you'll see, and Patrick knows this because he's heard me work with a lot of clients. I've worked very closely with his businesses over the years. And you'll see most people, what happens is they keep dumping money. They keep looking for the silver bullet, okay? And they keep money, more time, new website, SEO, print, all this crap. But none of it works, because every time you put $1 in, it just leaks out. You put another $1 in. Every time you put money in, they just leak out everywhere. So the first thing you have to do is you have to plug up the leaks. Okay, so first thing you got to do is you got to plug up the leaks. I'll show you that in a second. That is the first thing. Now, let's give you an example. We'll give you an example of, go back to Randy. Might as well. It's a good example. So Randy writes a special report on how families, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, okay, perfect. He gets them into, yeah, that's right, Denise. That is a technical term. So you put people in your funnel. They're not quite ready to buy right now. But over time, they become ready to buy. And all of a sudden, they're thinking, I think I'm going to list my house. But, and we're going to talk about ROI tracking in a little bit. And you're going to see how without plugging these holes, you really can't track ROI. So we're first going to plug the holes, then we're going to talk ROI tracking. As you put leads into your bucket, okay, people aren't ready to buy. But over time, they become ready to buy. And what happens is if you have a hole, They're going to take you up on your free stuff, like your free special report, like your free eyebrow wax. Let me give you this example. You do the eyebrow wax, okay? Just give you the urban spa example. You do the free eyebrow wax. You come in, you get your free eyebrow wax. Got it, perfect. But then there's no follow-up. The system isn't in place. You don't have a good follow-up system. You guys all know what I'm talking about because you've experienced it. You don't have a good follow-up system. And next thing you know, this person that should have bought your next layer of service, they should have bought your spa package, they should have bought your half-day spa pack, they should have bought these things. They don't. What they do is they exit your funnel and they go to the next spa because you didn't have a good follow-up system in place, because you didn't have the right systems in place. They take you up on your free stuff and then they leave. That's what a funnel with holes looks like. And folks, this is the cardinal sin of business, and it's everywhere. It is rampant. It is rampant in business, and it's called follow-up failure. And if you're in business, folks, I'm telling you that follow-up failure is going to cost you $10 million over the course of your career. Over the course of your career, if you don't plug those holes, you put so much money into all of your marketing and all of your advertising and everything you do. And every time you bring a lead in, they just end up leaking out. This costs you big money. So you need a system to plug those holes. And that kind of system, I'm going to talk to you about Remy system today. We have an online system that I'm going to talk to you about. There are others out there. I'll talk about those too. But what this is to plug those holes, you need a marketing automation and CRM platform that allows you to predictably grow your business. And this is how you grow your business without growing your payroll. You plug the holes. For a long time, if you're a messy manager, I talk about doubling sales and tripling profits. People always ask me, how can you promise people that you're going to do that? Folks, it's not a secret. First thing I do is I plug the holes. The minute I plug the holes, what I can do is I can reduce the advertising spend. I can reduce the marketing costs. I can reduce the marketing related expenses. What this does is this immediately starts to increase profits. At the same time as I plug the holes, the sales start to go up. So I end up doubling the sales and tripling profits. It's really not a complicated system, but it's all done by first plugging the holes. It's not about putting more in. Okay, that's really key. So here's an example. Now I'm gonna go some more. I'm gonna go in some more depth. Is this good, by the way, folks? I need to know if I'm hitting the mark here, and the reason is because I can't see you, so I don't know if you're listening. Oh, hey, Ian. Plug the holes. Yeah, Michael's got that. Michael's got that message loud and clear. Okay, so let me show you this. When you have one of these systems in place, folks, and you don't need to be a big business to have these systems in place, okay? You do not need to be a big 6-figure, 7-figure plus business to plug these holes and to have this kind of system to plug your holes. But this is a stat I pulled, okay, of the last week for one of my systems. Check this out. So the last week, 21,216 contacts in the database, okay? Emails that were sent, 30,000 emails were sent. Active web forms. Now those web forms, guys, what are those? Off-ramps, okay? That's your off-ramps right here. So in that business, I have 29 of them. Pretty cool. How many leads did it generate? 65. So 65 leads opted into these off-ramps. Perfect. Now check this out. This is where it gets crazy, guys. Okay. 5,730 active automation links. Now, what does this mean? Now, I'm going to go into detail on this in a minute. But this is, remember I said you got to have behavior-based marketing. Are you guys digging the whole writing on the screen thing? It's the first time I do this. Behavior-based marketing sequences, okay? So they're behavior-based. Now, guys, here's how I look at it, okay? I got 5,700 130 little soldiers through a system that are constantly, through the customer's behavior, moving them from campaign to campaign, funnel to funnel, moving them down the funnel, telling them you should buy this. What about that? Have you read this report? Have you checked out that blog post? What about this video? What about that video? Dot, 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 dot. That's all done automatic. Okay, not a single human being does this, not a single. This is all done automated. It's all pre-programmed, and it's all happening while I sleep. That's why I say stop the grind and regain your time. This happens while you sleep. So that's pretty cool, okay? So here's an example of what I'm back to the landing pages, by the way. People are wondering how I do this writing. Well, first of all, you need good Apple products, okay? So this is impossible to do on PCs. Nick Banks, don't say anything. This is all on Apple, and I have my iPad here. So I got my iPad on the desk. I'm running the presentation from my computer, which is also an Apple, and I'm using my Apple Pencil, which you should all have, and I'm writing right on the screen, right on the presentation, okay? That's how I do it. BlackBerry, I don't think it's possible. Okay, so when you create landing pages, I'm going to show you an example in a second. When you create landing pages, this is all in your system, okay? So as people come into your funnel step, your landing page, what happens, here's an example of a landing page. Every time I'm just going to put Dean, Nadine, I'm just making this name up, 647, blah, blah, blah. JG at blah, 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 submit, okay? So every time someone does that, they end up in that funnel. They end up in your database, okay? That's how this works, in case you didn't know that. I don't know how technical you guys are. I want to show you elements. This is a client of ours. I want to show you elements of this landing page, which is critical. So look at this button right here. Sign me up. I'm ready to love my home again. That happens to be their tagline. Love your home again. Here's what I never want you to do. If I'm ever tracking your marketing, and I track a lot of your marketing, by the way, folks. So if I ever see you use the word submit on your landing page, I am going to call you up and call you out. Never use the word submit. Come up with something more creative. Sign me up. Give me more. I want it now. Something like that is much more emotionally engaging than submit. So don't use submit. First thing. Second thing, look down here. Notice this. What is this? What's this called? First one gets a prize. Come on, what's it called? What's it called? First one gets a prize. Patrick, get ready. You got to offer a prize. Very good. Very good. Who said it? Who said it first? Who said it? Who said it? Alex. Alex Pal gets the prize. By the way, guys, I don't know what the prize is. Patrick's going to make it up. It's called Social Proof 100%. You have to create this social proof, folks. In this case, this was their social proof. You have got to create this for yourself. And you all have lots of social proof. You just have to think about it, okay? Now, so that's that. So look, logo, headline like we talked about, web form like we talked about, okay? Look at the next video like we talked about. Look at this, okay? Text like we talked about, okay? More social proof right here, okay? When you're doing, everyone has to use a lot more social proof, I promise you. I promise you you're not using social proof enough, okay? So please use more social proof. When you use a testimonial, you must include, if at all possible, a picture of the person, if you can, and include, you don't have to include their full name, but include their location. Include like Chris and Shelly. In this case, we used their first names and we used their location. The reason is because just these words mean very little. The minute you put a face to it, it means a lot more, okay? So that's a little bit on social proof. And then here in this case, we did something a little fancy where we put a secondary web form at the bottom. You don't have to do that. It's a fancy thing. We're able to do it easily. That's what we did. Now, folks, these pages, your landing pages, have got to be mobile first, not just mobile friendly. What I mean by that is 80%, get this, 80% of web traffic is mobile now. 80%. So a lot of big mistakes people make is they design these pages on their computers and then they're not mobile friendly, but most of the traffic is on mobile. And if your pages don't convert well, it's because they're not mobile first. So mark that down. Now, your system, in our case, Remy Online, but in whatever system you're going to use, your system has got to track these statistics. Because remember, we talked about making data-driven decisions, okay? You can't make data-driven decisions without numbers. It's impossible. So you have to have these numbers. So this page here, folks, had an opt-in rate of 8.5%. Now, is that good? Is that bad? Here's what I'll tell you. If you're around 10% for cold traffic, which means traffic from social media, traffic from advertising, like they don't know you. It's not traffic from your database, it's cold traffic. If you're close to 10% and it's cold traffic, that's relatively good, okay? This, Louis, is not from Google Analytics. This is from Remy Online, our marketing automation platform. Getting this stuff from Google Analytics is definitely possible, but Google Analytics is several layers of technology deeper than most people can handle. So I use Google Analytics all the time, and we do on many of our sites, but this is provided by Remy Online because we want quick statistics here. We don't need all the depth, we need quick stats. So cold traffic, 10% is good. Now, if you have some warm traffic in there, you should be increasing closer to 20%. If you're marketing to your database, okay, meaning the database knows you, you should be getting a 30 to 50% opt-in rate, which means if 100 people go to the page, 30 to 50 are going to say, I want that. Okay. That's for warm traffic. Okay. So you got cold and warm, and then you got warm. Okay. So make data-driven decisions. Now, when you do split testing, I can't go too much into depth. I've already been at this for an hour and 10 minutes, but when you do split testing, if your traffic is if this number is too low, then you need to start making changes to the page. You have to look at what the changes could be. Is it the headline? Is it the offer? Do you need to stack more value? Do you have social proof? Maybe you forgot, I forgot to put the social proof on there. So maybe you need to add social proof. Maybe you need to add 2 or 3 testimonials, not just one. So start making changes to your page until this number goes up. And you should make only one change at a time to get a true test, but more on that another time. Now, all of this stuff, let me go back. When you have a page like this, okay, and they submit their info, blah, 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 submit, okay, they go into this. And this here, folks, this is what's called marketing automation, okay? And this, you can see that this is an example of marketing automation. This is an example of all those things that are happening automatically while I sleep. That's what you need for your business. That's how you predictably grow without adding payroll, is like this. So as you add, let's just say that one person, every one of these are on off ramps, okay? As they come in, you can see the arrow, boop, it puts them into these different campaigns. And then based on the activity that they take here, it throws them into various other things. So like this, here's a full-blown example of what I'm talking about. All of this stuff happens automatically. Some of them are time-based, as you can see, and some of them are click-based, based on what people open, what people don't open, what people click, what people watch, what people listen to, what people read, all of these things. Now, folks, this takes time to set up. This is not going to happen overnight. But let me tell you, once, yes, it's going to be in the back office. Once it's set up, it is a beautiful thing. Because as all of this is happening in real time, and you're sleeping, you're running your business, you're doing what you're doing, you're serving your customers, all this is happening in the background. What happens is you are going to yield business opportunities. And now this is the CRM component. Okay. Now, Tara, great question. How many touch points are used from 50% to 2%? There's no way to know. There's no way to know. It all depends on the business, and there are things that you've got to test. that is something you could figure out over time, though, based on, you know, how in depth you work with your customers. It is something, but it's not something I can tell you off the hop like this. So Louis, your question, in this case, Remy Online, yes, we include the CRM. Now, here's the thing, folks, I want to just draw it because Louis is asking a great question. In this system I'm showing you Remy Online system. There's many others, right? The thing with Remy Online and the thing that you need here, and whether you use ours or use someone else, I really don't care who you use, is ours happens to do it all under one roof. No other system, none that I've ever seen, do it all under one roof. Most of them do some landing page. They might be able to offer landing pages, but they won't offer the marketing automation. Or they may offer the landing page and the marketing automation, but they won't offer the CRM. And you'll see the other parts, okay? So this is the way to do it. So what happens is, look at this. So you got 4 opportunities. In this particular client's case, it's $555,000 of business. That's the pipeline value. You can see that how it shakes up there. Now, how was this generated, folks? It was generated from this. It's all generated automatically by the system. Your job is to fill the funnel with leads and then let the system deal with suspects and let people deal with prospects. When they get to this level, that's when you get involved. Here, system's doing all the work. Here, there's real money on the table. That's where you get involved, okay? And now, when it comes to a platform like this, you need to make sure that your, and I'll talk about that in a second, Nilu. When you have a system like this, you want to make sure that your platform has a communication platform tied into it. So your platform that you choose has to have landing pages, done. It has to have marketing automation, has to, done. It has to have a CRM built in, done. It has to have a communication platform built in, which means you need to be able to send emails from this platform, and you need to be able to send text messages from this platform. Now, this is a big warning, okay? 99 lead capture is the landing pages, Louis. Big warning on this is that 99.9% of these platforms do not have text message built into them, okay? Ours does at Remy Online, and I mean, I think over time, some of them will catch up. We're way ahead of the game, but some of them will catch up. The text messaging is the most important part, folks. And the reason is because email, and you guys know I've been saying this for a while, email open rates are just going down and down and down and down and down and down. And what's happening is that text messaging has become more and more and more exciting. Hey, Rob, I see you're raising your hand. Put it in the chat and I can answer it as I see it here. Close this. How do I do this? Okay. So the text message component is critical. Have you noticed recently as RAIN members, that's why when we text you, when there's something critical we need you to pay attention to, we text you. And now here's the thing. We don't text, we use text messaging very sparingly, okay, at RAIN. We text you, our clients, once in a while when it's critical and very important, only once in a while, okay? You don't want to text, if you're using a text message platform, you do not want to text the suspects. Please write that down. Do not text the suspects. The prospects, once you have that connection, the clients, once you have that connection, you can text them. You never want to text marketing messages. You only want to text confirmation messages, and you want to text service messages. You don't text marketing messages, okay? Very rarely do we text you something to sell you something. We text you something for free, of value, but we'll never text you to sell you something. Very, very rare. Dawn, so the question is, how much of this work is done by virtual assistants? None of it. None of it's done by virtual assistants because this is done by the system. People aren't doing this. This isn't people driven. This is system driven. That's why you need a system like Remy Online, or you need another type of system. Okay. Okay. So I'll repeat the component. How much is this work done? So I'm just making sure. How efficient is a text bot invitation? I don't know what that means, Louis. How efficient is a text bot? Hytham, I'm going to answer that question in a second. Christian, let me go back up to you. Are you using progress prospects in the chat? Okay. This chat is not bot driven. This chat's human driven because I only engage it after they're in my pipeline for a sale. Okay. There are other systems that are bot driven chats. If you go, for example, super cool. If you go to urbanspapeterborough.com, we have a chat bot on our page, and that chat bot is connected to our booking system. You can actually book an appointment, like a 60-minute massage therapy appointment or a facial or a manicure or a pedicure or whatever you want to book. You can actually book it with the bot. And it'll book it directly in our schedule. It's incredible technology. It's all driven by AI. That's not this. And the reason that's not this is because I only engage in text messaging after I get them into my pipeline to sell them. Okay. Thanks, Christian. Don't. So the Neil, great question, Neil. Oh, hey, Neil. Didn't know you're on here. Yeah. So you never want to text sales messages. Don't text sales or marketing messages, only text confirmations and service-based messages, okay? So, if, for example, I'll use a realtor example again, because it's an easy one and you guys all get it. As a realtor, I would never text to my suspect database to try and sell them something. I wouldn't text them to say, hey, get a free home evaluation or anything like that. That'd be silly. They'll all opt out. They'll actually resent you for it. Your brand will decrease in their mind. Not good. But when people ask for a viewing and you text a confirmation of the viewing time, that's valuable. So that's what I mean. That's an example. Okay. Okay. So how does a setup on the system? So I'm getting lots of questions on how do I get set up on this system. I'll talk about that at the end. Okay, thanks, Rob. Thanks for coming. Okay, so Hytham asked a good question. I'm going to repeat it, okay? Which is, what are the critical components of the system? If you're going to get a system like this, it has to do the following. It's absolutely must. One, it has to have a lead capture component through landing pages. Now, if it has a lead capture component through web forms only, not good, not enough. You need landing pages. Okay. Number two, it has to have marketing automation, which means it needs to be able to send emails, text messages automatically without you. Marketing automation. Three, it needs to have a behavior-based triggers built in. I didn't mention that the first time because I was going to mention it next, but I'll say it now since Hytham asked a great question. So number three is it has to have behavior-based triggers. What does that mean? I'll show you in a minute. Number four, it must have a communication comms platform. What does that mean? It has to be able to send email broadcasts, and it has to have a text message platform. This is critical, and nobody does this. Okay, very, very important. And number five, it has to have a CRM component. You can get, like, I'll give you an example, right? Folks, like, like a communication platform, just this right here, just this part here, that's Constant Contact, for example. Okay. What system has this? The Remy system has it. It's the only one that I know that has all of those things. If you want to build a truly integrated system, because remember at the beginning, I started by saying the problem, folks, is the multiple systems chaos. All of the different systems create chaos in your business. So you need to get away from all these systems that only do one thing. You need to get one system that does it all and does it well. I'll talk about setup after, Nancy. So like this, just the email platform, that's like a Constant Contact. So people are like, well, I'll get Constant Contact. Folks, Constant Contact does about 5% of what I'm talking about here. 5%. That's it. It's not even close to robust enough. Not even close. Same with all the other ones, by the way. All you know, I'm trying to think of them now when they're drawing a blank, but all the email platforms, the email broadcasts, all that stuff, that's all. They only do one thing. They might do this, and they might do this through web forms. It's not enough. Infusionsoft I use Infusionsoft for years and years and years, and it doesn't do it. It does most of this, but you need a lot of plugins and you need a lot of different stuff to make it work. I love Infusionsoft. I'm a big fan. I know the owners a long time. Okay, so the last part of this, folks, and is the WF Maureen stands for web forms. Okay. Now, behavior-based systems. What does this mean? What this means is that as people see that the important part of this, and the behavior-based component is the most high-tech and the most valuable part of the system that you need. And the reason is because if you create, let's just say you use a basic system like a constant contact. I'm not picking on them. I've used it for years. It's just not robust enough for this kind of system. It's great if you're just starting out and you just want a tool to email your clients, but it's not like this. So, but if you use a constant contact as an example, okay, you might have, for example, a landing page, okay? And then you're gonna program the constant contact to say, after someone comes into the landing page, send them email 1, then send them email 2, then send them email 3, okay? So the problem with this is it's not behavior-based. See, what if the first person opens your email? And what if the second person doesn't open your email? Okay, so there's no open. Well, the system, there should be a different action there. In the marketing world, if you open the email, something else should happen. If you don't open the email, something different should happen. You shouldn't do the same thing to everybody. That's behavior-based systems, folks. And the way to do that is to create, and I'll show you, is to create triggers. Your system has to have triggers. So let me show you what triggers look like, for example. They look like this. You can see that you're programming, okay? And and when I say programming, don't get scared. I'll show you live what I mean by programming. Is when should we trigger this automation? Well, when this happens and the customer replies. So if someone opens your email and actually replies to your email, then do this. Put them into a different campaign, right? That's the power right there, folks. This is very advanced stuff. Like this is, I mean, this is ninja shit here, okay? Like this is very, very advanced stuff. Very few companies do this, but this is the ninja stuff that you think, wow, okay? And it's these triggers. So your system has to be able to do this. Very few systems do this. And if a system does do this, it's typically quite advanced and sometimes it'll scare you. So you need good support to make sure this happens, okay? This is how, folks, you could truly move. You can, and now that you understand the full thing, I'm gonna go back at the end and explain the readiness pyramid again, because now it makes a lot more sense. So as you go through, you could see, I'm just showing you, look at all the different things I can trigger on. I can trigger on an open, I can trigger on I can trigger on a survey, I can trigger on a pipeline, I can trigger on a booked appointment, I can trigger on a status, I can trigger on a birthday, I can trigger on so many things. I can then define filters. I can throw them from campaign A to campaign B. I can take them out of a campaign. I can stop emails. I can send emails. I can send an SMS. Look at that. I can send an SMS automatically. I can ask a task. You see where it says, you just missed it there, but it just said webhook right there. Okay. So now, okay. So you guys want more ninja shit or what? Because I'm about to give you some real ninja. I'm going to give you some like Tokyo ninja stuff next. I'm going to wait. That's not enough people so far that want the ninja stuff. Okay. So the webhook, what that means is it's a fancy word to say I can connect this system to every other system that has an open API on the internet, which means, now check it out, okay? That means that based on whether you open an email, whether you don't open an email, whether you reply to an email, whether you click on a link, whether you watch a video, don't watch a video, based on your actions, not the ones I think you should take, but your actual actions, your actual behavior, I could then trigger a webhook and I can kick off a special Facebook campaign to put a special message right in front of you on your Facebook, right in front of you on your Twitter, right in front of you on your LinkedIn, right in front of you on your Google, right? And that's because I can actually connect this system to Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, and every other marketing platform system out there. I can even trigger this. That if you did that kind of stuff, I could put a postcard in your mailbox, right? Think about the possibilities now. And I don't know all of your businesses. There's hundreds of people on here. So you're all seeing this. Neil's question is that remarketing? Neil, it's a version of remarketing, but it's like the super ninja version of it. So it's several layers deeper than remarketing, but it would kind of fall under the category. It's kind of hard to explain. So hopefully that answers that. So this is super duper stuff. And what's really, really, really important is to realize that you can't blame the bike. And what I mean by blaming the bike is a lot of times you get a system like this, and it doesn't matter what system you get, but if you get a system like this, if you had a Remy online system, and if I just gave you access to your own system and said, everybody here gets a free system, right? Everybody. What would happen is you would try to ride the bike, you would fall off the bike, right? Because you don't have the skill to do it, and then you would blame the bike, okay? So you can't blame the bike, guys. That's like putting a 4-year-old on the bike, they fall over because they're just learning how to do the bike, and then you blame the bike because they fell over. It's not the bike's fault. The bike's job is to do a certain thing, just like the system's job. You got to do the thing. So just be careful of that, because that's how a lot of people interpret these systems is they say, I tried a system like that once before, but it didn't work. No, the system always works. You didn't work. It's just like Patrick always says, real estate doesn't fail you, you fail real estate. It's the same with these systems. Now, enough on that. Let's keep going. Last part of the seminar, guys. I hope this is okay. I'm over time. I thought I'd be done this in about 60, 70 minutes, but here we are an hour and a half later, and I got one last part to go. So here's the data-driven decision. This is the part that everybody needs, everybody must do. This is the roll your sleeves up at the end of the day, get it done. This is what unlocks all the value. Watch this. So here's an actual case study, because if you don't make data-driven decisions, this is how you end up wasting time and money. So here's how you track your data. I want you to track the date, track the event. Now, when I say event, I don't mean it's like a physical, like an event, like a webinar or a physical seminar or anything like that. But there's some type of marketing event that took place. It could be a campaign. It could be a this. It could be that. There's some type of marketing event that took place. Then you track the number of sales you received from that marketing event. Okay, just that already, most people don't do this, but you got to start doing this. And then track total sales. So look at, for example, like on March 12th, there was this XYZ event. I changed the name of the events for the privacy of the client. There was 7 sales. It resulted in $15,000 in sales. Got it. Perfect. So then once you have your numbers like this for a week, a month, a quarter, whatever the case may be, I want you to then calculate the marketing budget. How much did you spend in marketing? And the reason I put $1 there is because if I put 0, the formulas don't work, so I put $1, okay? So look at the March 22nd, we got 13 sales on that marketing event, $30,000 in sales, and the marketing budget was $1,200. Okay, fantastic. So then you go to the next layer. Then I want you to calculate your sales per unit. So how much because you got 7, see in that first one, you got 7 sales and you got 15,000. So it's $2,100 per unit. And then look at that April 1st campaign, you got $995 unit. And then the April 2nd thing, whatever that was, $64. So you have different sales per unit. Now, this is going to become important in a second, because then I want you to calculate what is your cost per sale. And this is where the power really starts to come in. Because when you can figure out your cost per sale, and how you do that, by the way, the cost per sale is calculated by, so you spent, so look at it, March 22nd, you spent $1,200 in marketing, you generated 13 sales, okay, so that's $92 per sale. So here's what that says. That says you traded $92 for $2,200. Now, please put that in the chat. Would you make that trade? If I said, give me $92 and I'll give you back $2,258, would you make that trade? Thanks, Stephanie. Okay, would you make that trade? Let me see. Okay, fantastic. You all get prizes. Very good. You all said the right answer. Okay, awesome. Now here's the kicker. And this works the same in real estate. It works the same in everything. Okay, you have to do this in every business I own. We do this, from the marketing business to the spa business to the property management business to the property rental business to the marketing business to the cafe and restaurant business, all of them. This is the next one, and this is the most important part, which is LTV of sales. LTV stands for lifetime value. And when you your lifetime value of sales is calculated like this. And we're all going to do our lifetime values next in a second, in 2 slides. We're going to calculate our lifetime value together. When you calculate, so in this example, the lifetime value of this particular client, I think was 2,500 lifetime value. And so that means that, look at, again, March 22nd, we did 13 sales. The 13 sales resulted in $29,000 at that moment. But there's a lifetime value. There's additional value in those sales. And it's 32, the number is 32,000. Look, for example, at initiative ABC on April 2nd, 65 sales were made. It only resulted in $4,000 that day of sales, but it did result, the lifetime value of those sales is $162,000. So you didn't, in fact, and this is, please make sure, and residuals is one way to explain it, yes, for sure. So you, in my mind as a business owner, that day I thought to myself, okay, JG, you traded $15. Look at line, I'm looking at April 2nd, and I don't know why I'm not pointing it out to you guys. Okay. That day I thought to myself, I traded $15 for $64, okay? But in fact, I didn't. I traded $15 per sale for a total of $162,500. So I traded $1,000 for $162,500 over the course of the lifetime of that value. So let me show you how you calculate, okay? Let me show you right now. We're gonna do it together. Oops, where am I going? Let's do it. So here's how you calculate lifetime value, okay? So number one, you ask yourself, what is the average sale you make? So do this now, and I'll just use an example. So let's just say the average sale of, I'm just gonna say your retail business. I'm gonna pretend that you sell, I don't know, ladders. I'm just gonna make that up. Your average sale is $200, $200 for a ladder. That's your average sale. The next question you ask yourself is, how many times per year do you buy a ladder? So number of times per year. Now in this case, I sell ladders, let's just say to contractors, that's my business. So typically the contractor will buy about 4 ladders from me a year. So number of times per year, 4. So that means that right now I'm at $800 per year of lifetime value. Then I ask myself the question, and by the way, at first, if you don't have these numbers, you have to assume the numbers, okay? So make the assumptions, and it's okay. You work on assumptions until you have real data. Then you ask yourself the question, for how many years are they gonna buy from me? How many years, okay? So then you ask, how many years are they going to buy from me? And let's just say in the contractor business, these guys go out of business quite frequently. So it's only 3 times. They're only going to buy for 3 years. Well, the lifetime value of each client is $2,400. That means every single time I get a customer, I know that on average, I'm going to make $2,400 from that customer. So then ask yourself, are you willing to invest to get those customers? So what's your lifetime value? Do the number right now, okay? And put it in the chat for me, and put it just to the panelists, or put it to everybody if you want. It doesn't matter. The number doesn't matter, guys. You knowing the number is the most important thing. We have some businesses we own and we work with, their lifetime value of the client is $800. We have other clients, their lifetime value is hundreds of thousands of dollars. We got major clients where their lifetime value is millions of dollars, okay? So the number itself doesn't matter. Let me just undo that. I want to keep it on the screen for you. Let me know if you can figure this out. I've got 1,000. What if it's one off? Well, if they buy once per year, how often do they buy? How many years are they going to buy for, Debbie? Are they going to buy for 10 years? Are they going to buy, how many times are they going to buy in the lifetime value of that client? Once, 5, 10? Okay, perfect. That's good. Good, Laura. Very good. If they buy once every 5 years and you expect to keep them for 20 years, put 4. Michael, 32K, perfect. Ian, 12K, awesome, love it. Now, Michelle is bringing up a good point. He's saying, don't forget about associated sales. I'm using that. If you have, take your retail business, like at the spa, for example, we have, like at the spa, I know, for example, that on average, a client spends $69 per visit and they do 8 visits a year. I know that. Doesn't matter what they buy. It doesn't matter in what order they buy it. That's the numbers because I figured it out over time. So the associated sales are all part of that, okay? In that particular example. Now I have other people, and you're right. Someone wrote it down, and I'm glad you pointed it out. I was gonna say it, and I didn't. But there's one more number that I usually calculate in here, which is referrals. Which is, if that client refers you one person, well, that's another $2,400 because therefore, and I don't want to confuse you, but the actual LTV is $4,800 because they are worth $2,400 plus the client they're going to refer is worth $2,400. Therefore, the actual LTV is $4,800. Okay, Zeb, what's your, how do you calculate this for service-based business with only one item? Well, whatever that item is worth to you. Okay, great. Awesome. Look at you guys. You guys are doing fantastic. Perfect, Debbie. That's great. Now, folks, building a system like this doesn't happen overnight. Yeah, and you know, look at like some of them, look at your numbers, folks. You guys are seeing the numbers can get quite high quite fast, and that's the point. The point is the lifetime value of the client is very, very high in most cases. You know, if, and I'll talk about this at the end, but you know, if your lifetime value of a client is over $500, you really need to be investing in a system like this because every client is worth so much money to you that it's a no-brainer. You need to be investing in this stuff. You need to be investing in your business. And some of you, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars for every client, depending on what kind of business you're in. Like I said, if you're in the construction business, if you're in the renovation business, if you're a developer, if you're in like, those are high ticket items and they're worth a lot of money to you. So that's why building a system like this is really critical, but it doesn't happen overnight, folks. I really want to stress that. Like I've been building these systems for 15 years. If I look at the systems we built at Urban Spa, you know, we've been building them for 7 years. We've invested a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money in doing this. So the point is that it doesn't happen overnight and it does take time. It can easily take you months to get a good foundation set up. It'll take you years perhaps to get a great system, but it will, the result is so phenomenal and so astronomical that it's worth the investment. But you have to stop looking for the silver bullet, because if you look for the silver bullet, then you're going to have a very difficult time. You're going to have a very difficult time. You're not going to be willing to invest in this kind of thing. So your next step, so a lot of you are asking is if you wanted Remy's system, how would it look, right? So let me show